All right. So, hello and welcome to our free presentation, guys. We're going to talk about how to launch your fingerprinting business with confidence, no matter what state you are in. We're going to do our very best to keep this as close to 30 to 45 minutes as possible because we definitely want to respect your time. But I also want to pack this thing so full of value that you understand what it's going to take to succeed as a fingerprint business person in your state. So, as we make our way through today's presentation, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're hailing from today. Use these calls that we have together to connect with each other. And for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Bill Soroka. I guess I, I guess that's me. I'm the founder of notarycoach.com and High Performance Notary, which is where you go to grow. I'm going on my 10th year now, coaching notary entrepreneurs on how to create a business that lasts and thrives well beyond loan signings. We do that by focusing on old-fashioned daily sales and prospecting habits and education that helps notaries stand out and expand their business with what we call specialty work, designed to help create more revenue. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you today about the fingerprinting opportunity with my friend, Brandon Edwards from Secure Biometrics, which I'll introduce him here in just a minute. Today, here's what you can expect. We're aiming, like I said, at 30 to 45 minutes of casual conversation just between me, Brandon, and you, talking about how to build a business as a fingerprint expert in any state. So that's your first lesson right there. I want you to write that down in your notes. A fingerprinting business can be built in any state. Yes, all 50 of them, without question. And soon I'm going to bring you up to meet Brandon, and he's going to talk to you about why fingerprinting makes so much sense. And we're going to do that by breaking down the 5 biggest misconceptions that notary entrepreneurs have about this business and the opportunity in general, and where that might originate. Then we're going to tell you exactly how to get started. And for those of you who are serious and you're excited about what this business could do for you, we put together a pretty incredible course bundle just for you and friends of Notary Coach. And we're going to talk about that at the very end. And of course, as usual, we're going to leave plenty of time for your questions. And we know that you're going to have a lot of them. And we're going to hang out as long as it takes to make sure that we get those questions answered about how to start a fingerprinting business. So if you do think of a question, be sure to write it down. And yes, you could add it to the chat, but we may not, in fact, we probably won't answer it right away. We're going to save all those questions to the very end. So I'm excited to introduce you to Brandon Edwards. He was one of my very first beta members of my Sign and Thrive loan signing course way back in 2017. And we hit it off right away as he started building his notary business in Texas. But along the way, Brandon was introduced to fingerprinting and he immediately started to see that opportunity and he built that into his business. He started offering that as a service. And he's going to tell you a little bit about how he has scaled that business from very humble beginnings as a mobile notary in Houston. And throughout the years, he and I have been collaborating. We've been through some things when it comes to trying to bring honest, valuable information about the fingerprinting industry to the notary community. And of course, it hasn't been easy, but Brandon's got it dialed in now. He's built an entire fingerprinting empire, and now he wants to share it with you and exactly how to do it. So please help me welcome Brandon up to the stage so he can break this business down for you. So if you would, please show some love in the chat and welcome Brandon to the stage. Brandon,
All
welcome.
right.
Come on up.
Thank you. Thank you. Great morning, everyone. And thank you all for the warm welcome. Want to say a shout out to Tony in Chicago. I see him on here. We communicate from time to time and stuff like that. And great guy. So I just want to say that real quick. Bill, I appreciate you for allowing me this opportunity to kind of work with you on this because, like you said, we started out back in 2017, 18. I was trying to figure something out to do on the side. I've been in the healthcare field for 15 years. And, I found Bill on YouTube and YouTube U. And, I was kind of considering it. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do it. And then I called Bill. I actually called him. I was like, hey, man, is this for real about Notary? Can I really make money on the side doing this? And he was like, yeah, it was for real. And then I got his course and I was like, wow, it was packed with so much information. And, it was very helpful for me to kind of get started and get the ball rolling for me doing that. But as I was doing that, I was kind of looking at my environment, my time, and things like that. And I had to go get fingerprinted for my X-ray license because that's what I did in the healthcare field. And I went to a little place, in and out pretty quickly. And I was like, that was interesting. Didn't think too much of it. Went back again, this Texas, so had to have my concealed carry. So I went there the second time. I was like, hey, why is this the only place in this large city I'm in? I'm in Houston. So this large area, why am I only going in this one place, right? So it kind of sparked my interest a little bit more. And then, I talked to my sister about it. She was a business owner, and she was like, well, why don't you think about adding that too, right? Like you really trying to get out the hospital and stuff. So I was like, all right, cool. And so I started researching. And I was like, I think I'm onto something. It's only a few big players in here, but all the people in between, uh, it's a lot of room for us to grow. And so, um, find out if this is really for me and kind of be determined, I started fingerprinting people in the break room at the hospital, right? Like I'm out here trying to get it, right? And so in between customers, if I didn't have any patients, and I know I had some doctors need a fingerprint, and I was doing that. And I was kind of realizing like, oh man, these doctors, they're practicing in multiple states. They're doing what they call locum tenens, right? So that's like travel work and stuff like that. You hear about travel nurse and stuff. And they were getting all these cards from me. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm on to something. And then so it just kind of my shift just kind of went in that direction as far as okay, I'm gonna focus more on fingerprinting. And then as I was doing that, I had an office and everything like that, and then the business kept growing because as I was finally like really ready to launch, COVID hit. Right, I had paid all this money for a website, just all this stuff, right, so I can really get out there. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then the first like 2 or 3 months, I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then all of a sudden, boom, it just all started coming in because police stations were not fingerprinting civilians for fingerprint cards, right? They stopped doing that service. Most of them still don't do it to this day. And then also, a lot of businesses were not open, right? And so that was my opportunity to try to really start getting a lot of customers during that time. And then as I was doing that, I got another office in the River Oaks area, and I kind of had this like a affluent area in Houston. And I was like, man, if I'm over here, I'm supposed to be here. And I had a mind shift change from just like leaving the hospital to replace my income to actually building something that I can really have sustainable, going to a sustainable wealth and becoming, building an empire, so to speak, that Bill said. And along with that, I was like, man, it was kind of hard. There was no information out here on time. Like it wasn't really no information, no, not good information out there. And so started Secure Biometrics to get people to learn the information that's true that I know from being in the industry, from working with industry leaders and FBI channelers and stuff like that, and getting it direct. And so that's why I created this because like I said, the information out there is not. Actually, I don't even watch a lot of stuff on YouTube because the information is invalid. But then I'll just wrap that up and say that's me. And so that's why we have this training course and stuff like that available to help people get started and kind of leapfrog their business.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Brandon. I'm so grateful that you're bringing this to us. And we were going to kind of frame this as the top five biggest misconceptions that notary entrepreneurs often have when they enter this industry. So, can you touch on this a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So that's a funny one. You can't do it in your state. So this could be done in every single state. no matter where you're located, you can do fingerprinting in every single state. Um, sometimes the information that people receive or not is from other colleagues, like other people that may be in the notary industry, or they might be, doing home inspections or something like that. So they don't really fully know the information that they can do this, but you can do this in every single state. Um, when it comes to when people talk about open, close, and hybrid, which I'll kind of talk about briefly here, that's where it really kind of like gets people confused on if they can do it or not. So let's say ink fingerprinting. Ink fingerprinting can be done in every single state, no matter where you at. The only state that requires a certification would be California, a fingerprint roller certification, right? But that's just pretty much a background check, okay? But you can still do ink fingerprinting in California, right? You can do it every single place. That's the only one that has a certification for ink fingerprinting or just fingerprinting, period. Then outside of that, you have when people talk about, oh, I have an open state, a closed, or hybrid. So let's go with open states. So this means when we're talking about live scan, that's when these terminologies come into play. We're talking about live scan fingerprinting. So if you are in an open state, let's say California, Florida, Utah, Washington, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, to name a few, right? Let's say you're in those states, right? Then your system can connect to the state and electronically submit fingerprint records to that state. That's what we're talking about with that, right? And so in those states, it would be every state is favorable to do live scan and ink. But for this purpose, we can say ink can be done in everywhere. Fingerprinting can be done everywhere, right? We want to make sure that's clear. Okay, now when you talk about hybrid states are states where, well, I'll say this, every state takes cards, right? But hybrid states is where you can do mail-in cards or live scan to the state at the same time, right? So a state like that would be like a North Carolina, Iowa, um, Arizona, right? A Mississippi. Those are some states just to kind of give you an idea of how that works. And so essentially, you and your business offering live or fingerprinting services would get fingerprint cards, and then you would mail them out to the customer to the state when the customer have, or the customer can mail them out themselves, right? So that's kind of how. Now, closed means like Texas. I'm in a state that you would say closed, and it's really a single source provider, right? So an RFP. So a state put out a request for proposal, and then companies bid on that, and then one company won the contract to do fingerprint background checks for the state or processed it, right? So for our state, it's Identigo. So essentially, any background check that somebody doing for the state of Texas only, right? We're not talking about federal service. We're talking about for the state. It has to be processed through Identigo. But Identigo has a card processing station, which every state has a card processing station. So give the person a card, and then it's mailed out to their card processing station, and then the background check is completed. So that's kind of an example of the three different ones. But you can do this in every single state, no matter where you're located at. So I just want to drive that home, but that's kind of the misconception that, oh, I can't do it. But yes, you can do this and you can be very successful with it.
So to kind of summarize that, this fingerprinting can be done in every single state. Ink is super easy to do, and we recommend you probably start there anyway. But if you want to move into the electronic side, there's a little more nuance to it, but it can still be used and done.
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Let's move on to misconception number two.
Okay. Okay. Uh, all right. Too much competition. Uh, the cliche, I'm only in competition with myself. I really do feel that way because of the passion and the drive I have with my business. But I'll tell you this, most of those places that you see offering fingerprinting are not fingerprint companies, so to speak. So you have a few big players. They're called TPAs, third party administrators. I've built my business into being a third party administrator as well, but let me tell you what that means. So, for instance, if you see all these UPS stores, postal ship stores, and stuff like that offering fingerprinting in your area, they're not selling the services. They are partnered with larger companies that put the live scan equipment into their business, and then the larger companies have the business and they send them clients to fingerprint on their behalf. Now they're only getting between $3 to $5 per person. If they're doing multiple services on that one person, then they might get $9. But that's the most they can get from doing one person, right? So they can't sell the services. So they're really not competition. They're just collection sites. And so they're not out marketing in your local area to go get clients. and stuff like that, they're just there, right? And so that gives you opportunity to dance all around those because they're not in competition with you, right? And so that's the good thing about uh, or a misconception, I would say, when you see that because they're not really offering the services, they're just collecting for everyone else. Um, Also, the business is year round demand. You got so many people that need these services and not enough people to fulfill it. So, for instance, you have people that are in the medical field. So, if they're going to, let's call it a nursing program. So, to get into the nursing program, they have to get a fingerprint background check. Once they graduate the nursing program to get their license, they have to get another fingerprint background check. Then again, in 3 to 5 years, they have to renew their license with another fingerprint background check, right? That's the journey of one person, right? So you think about all the people in the healthcare field, like all these nurses, all these doctors, all these lab pathologists, like just in that subset alone, it's enough work for everyone, right? Then you start moving into different industries. Like for myself, um, immigration. I have shifted my company to become, I call it an immigration ally, right? So all these people that are coming here legally, and they're coming from every country. They're not just coming south of the border. Let's throw that misconception out there too. I'm fingerprinting these people, and so essentially, a lot of times you get the husband, the wife, the kid, two kids, right? And you're doing all this at once. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all these people that need this, right? So this is something that it's a lot of people that need it. And if you go ahead and you can focus down and niche down like I have in this immigration space because I charge $140 per person, and it only costs me $28 to get it done. So that's a net of like 112 per person. And we're talking about a family, right? It is a simple process. And you can do this. Just think about all the immigration attorneys throughout the whole United States, right? To where if you wanted to just niche down in this, and then you can niche down in this and grow it exponentially. ATF is another one. People that are doing firearms, for instance, right now, actually started yesterday with the big beautiful bill. So people that are buying suppressors and silencers and short barrel rifles, if you're into guns or not, you know, uh, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know where you can make some really great money in this industry by niching down on those people because now they don't have to pay for a tax stamp. So in order for them to buy that suppressor, they have to have a tax stamp from the ATF. So with this here, in the tax stamp, you only cost about $300. That fee is no longer, it's been waived. So they're getting a tax stamp for free. So it's a huge influx of people that I'm actually preparing myself and my staff for to fingerprint these people because of what's happening. So it's enough for everyone. And these are just two niches that you can go down to right away and make a lot of money.
Huge. And I love that you gave that pricing model there. I wonder if you could just answer a real quick question because you mentioned $140 per person. Do you charge the same for children and
Yeah.
adults?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. And then I'll also add to that, it's your business. You can do whatever you want, right? Like if they want to give a 20% discount or whatever, you could certainly do that.
Absolutely. It's all about putting your salesperson hat on, right,
Yeah.
to close the deal. So
All right, let's look at misconception number three. Can't make any
uh,
real money at this.
okay. Uh so yes, you can. I am living proof that you can make real money with this. You talk about your margins and things like that. So to get started in fingerprinting, it may cost you about I say, 100 to 150 bucks, depending on, the supplies that you purchase. And then, invest in some training and then start making money. And then, if you think about, for myself, I buy the cards by the thousand. So I get them for about 17 cents per card. I'm charging $45 for two cards electronically and $60 for two cards, traditional ink and roll. And that's, for in office, when I do mobile appointments, I charge more. But if you think about 17 cents and you're charging, you know, 45 bucks for two cards, I mean, or 60, because we're talking about ink, in some places you can charge even more, upwards of 100 bucks a card, right? Especially if you're in California, Northern California. I've definitely experienced that with trying to sub out some work. So you can make some real money with this. And then you can also, if you're talking about doing mobile and stuff like that, you're adding additional costs on for the customers to do. Now when it comes to like recurring, business and B2B stuff, like that's where you really want to go. Because B2C is cool, right? But you really want to go to the people that have the work for you, right? So the different businesses that have employees. So if you have a nursing school in your area, you can go to them and then fingerprint all of the nursing students as they come in, and then once they graduate, right? So it's making that to where you're having your reoccurring revenue, or even if you have the nurse that's being travel nursing, right? So as they're doing this in every single state, they're going to need to be fingerprinted every single time as they go for these states. So that's reoccurring revenue that you can make within this business. And it's kind of up to you as far as how hard you want to push this, because you already have your notary service lines or whatever service lines you're doing, but how do you want to push it. But if you want to make an extra $500 a month, you can. If you want to make an extra $10,000 a month, you can, right? This will give you the avenue to do that. Trust me, I've been through this several times and helped people along the way to where I've seen them grow themselves from being in a part of the program of one location to two or three. I have a member in the program now. She has 6 locations, right? So you can really scale this up to, whatever you want to do with this business.
Yeah, fantastic. I know you're going to get to the next one because there's a question on people's mind, I'm sure, because they think you can't offer mobile and you have to have a physical location. Is that true?
No, sir. That's not true. You can definitely do mobile. Mobile is actually something where like actually one of the real big companies, that's how they started. They were mobile for the first 8 years, like, and they actually sell hardware and software and stuff like that, and are an FBI channel, right? And so it's like this here mobile is good to start there because you have a low startup cost, so you don't have a brick and mortar that you're paying for, right? You don't have to sit in the office all day long. If you don't have a customer at that time, like you're sitting there hoping to get a walk in, or you could be maximizing that time by going out and marketing to businesses, right? Because with mobile fingerprint, I tell people this is a white glove concierge service that you're offering to people. And so as you're fingerprinting and you go into businesses of fingerprint execs, they're not going to be looking for a place to go get fingerprinted. They're going to have their secretary call you and have you scheduled to come in and do a mobile fingerprint appointment for them, right? So like I fingerprint all the execs at Lumens, right? So all the execs at Lumens, I go, I fingerprint them. I'm pretty much working with their assistant the whole time. I get the room ready. They're like, okay, Brandon, such and such is coming in 3 minutes. Are you going to be ready? Yes, I'm going to be ready. He comes in, he shows me his ID. I fingerprint him. I'm pretty good. He gets in and out in about a minute or two, and then I'm back to working with the admins, to finish filling out the cards and stuff like that. And so these people, I'm charging them a premium just to show up. So for instance, to go the first 5 miles from my office, I charge $400 to say, hey, how you doing? I'm here. I'm gonna do the services, right? And then services are on top of that too. So if I'm doing an ink card, let's say they just need one ink card or two ink cards, right? So it's $400 to get there, and then I'm gonna charge them 60 for the first card, 25 for the second card, right? So that's $85. So that's 485 to drive 5 miles for me, fingerprint them, and that's all profit, and I'm coming back home, right? And so this is what you're doing, like you're marketing to um, businesses that need this service, right? I tell people too, like you're going to market to the high industry people, right? People that value their time over their money, right?
Mhm.
Because someone like you and I tell I'm not my own customer, right? I want people that go to Gucci, Lehman Marcus, Balenciaga. I want those type of customers because they don't have the time to go look and find a place to go to, but they're gonna be willing to pay for me to come to them and get it done so it has little disruption to their day. So that's something that's really cool about offering mobile fingerprinting. I love it actually. I have it on my website too. So some people just book it without me even talking to them, and then we follow up and finish scheduling an appointment.
Wow, huge. All right, let's look at misconception number five. It's too hard to find customers. Where do you find those customers?
Funny, funny, funny. So really, you have to have yourself visible enough for customers to find you, right? Like that's the key for you to have your Google My Business profile, optimized. If you're doing, let's say you have a notary business, right? And notary is your first primary source of services, and then you have other ones. Well, you want to make this to where fingerprint is your primary source. So a lot of times I tell people, you should get a second Google My Business profile that's strictly about fingerprinting so that you can show up in that map pack, right? Because that's what people are doing when they're searching Google, fingerprinting near me, you know, they're popping up in the map pack and you want to show up as a fingerprinting service or a fingerprinting business. That's a little small gem that you can do that's going to help you leapfrog right away. Because if I'm on and your website has to be good too. So like if I go on your website and it has everything, let's say it's a postal ship place, but they doing fingerprinting. It has everything on there about postal ship, a little thing that says fingerprinting, and it's like, well, I don't know if I can really trust this person because all they talking about is postal ship. But if their website is maximized and optimized for fingerprinting, I'm going to do business with it. I get a lot of people that say, man, when your site was so detailed, so detailed, had everything I looked for, and I went with you because I was looking at some other place, like, I'm not sure. Like, they only had like one review. They didn't, it was talking about shipping supplies, right? So things like that, you want to make sure you have all that correct. A lot of businesses don't market effective, kind of like what I'm saying, right? You say you're doing fingerprinting, but it's always talking about lab stuff and things like that, right? So you want to get out and market and network and join organizations like SHRM, that's Society of Human Resource Management, those professional organizations, because we deal in compliance. And so we want to talk to people in compliance and are making decisions on who are companies they're going to use to send their customers to for fingerprint background checks, right? And so joining that organization, you can join it. You can go up and give a spiel about your business and how you can help them on their fingerprinting needs, right? Other things, you can join your chambers of commerce, to be able to get with businesses that already have employees, kind of the few to many strategy, right? So if they already have the employees, all I need to do is go talk to them, a few people, right? And then they're going to send me everyone. I was actually talking to Bill. I'll say this real quick too, because I can go a little bit long-winded. And I know y'all gonna have questions and stuff like that. But I was telling Bill earlier today, like I have to prep for. So out here in Texas, they have a University of Texas medical branch. So they have a whole system of nurses, doctors, hospitals, teaching schools, and everything like that, right? And so they reached out to me right before Christmas and asked for me to schedule a meeting if I can do all their background checks for them. So I have to prepare for that for the next 2 weeks. But you know how I got that? So people don't know this. They have cooperatives out here, the government cooperatives, right? And so a lot of these schools and different big government entities, they are part of a co-op so that they're not big enough themselves. So they join this co-op so that they can get cheaper pricing for all the different services. They have background screening services in there. They have HVAC services in there, pens, paper, office supplies, all this stuff is in there. And so I bid on an RFP. I got an awarded vendor for doing fingerprinting and background screening services. And so now, by me going to few, which is being in this cooperative, now I can reach many because I can't just go to UT individually, right? So now, being a part of this, I can reach all of UT, all of some other community colleges, other independent school districts, and stuff like that. So that's something you can look into is cooperatives in your area that you can join for fingerprinting. And I want to say they have Notary in there too, but for fingerprinting, when they put that RFP out, and then this give you a way to get in to these big places. So it's not hard to find customers. You have to put yourself in the place and to position yourself properly for customers to find you. Because I just told you they found me, right? But I
Yeah.
position myself by winning that RFP to be in their system for background screening services.
Yeah, that's huge. I don't think people realize how many of these background checks or just the need for fingerprinting for all of these really is when you look at the numbers, employment, certifications, credentialing, all of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you so much for that. Again, completely packing this thing with value. And Brandon talks fast, but
Yeah, sorry.
everything is packed full. I hope you have some notes on that. We'll have a replay for this too. Because right now, what you now know is that no matter what state you're in, a fingerprinting business is a viable solution. It's a service that you can add to your business. You also now know that there's plenty of volume around you and a lot less competition than you might think, especially if you just look at Google, right? We know that some of those businesses are just collection sites, they're not actual competition for you. And yes, you can earn considerable revenue for this. Brandon was kind enough to share his pricing strategy and some of his price points for us, especially because convenient fingerprinting is in demand. And I love how Brandon worded that, right? You're looking to work with people who value their time over their money. And there's lots of people who do that. So, and because we are in the convenience economy, right? People don't necessarily want to take time away
Hmm.
to drive somewhere or go to a
They can
law
do it.
enforcement police station or a UPS store to get it done.
Yeah.
There are literally potential customers everywhere for you. So, if it's okay with you, I'd like to show you the exact system and the flow that Brandon has created that helped him earn over $2.5 million over the last couple of years in fingerprinting revenue. And what's cool about Brandon, and this I think is so important, there is no success without helping others. So Brandon's taken all of these lessons, all of his empire building lessons, and he's in that experience, and he's uh, built this multi-location fingerprinting empire. And he's been a coach and a trainer to help other fingerprint business owners across the country. And so what he's done is he's created this special, exclusive, just for us, friends of Notary Coach. That's you if you're watching this, a special bundle of courses. And we're calling it the Business Launch Bundle. And with these 6 courses included, you'll genuinely become a fingerprinting boss. And I promise we'll get to your questions and we'll answer all of those that you're typing into the chat. So keep those coming. Now, as Brendan and I were building out this new project, though, we were talking about how important it is for the notary community to get exactly what they need without a bunch of fluff, without a bunch of teasing, without a bunch of BS, because it's so hard to find high quality training for rolling fingerprints or building a fingerprinting business. You can see it gets murky just trying to research on Google or even with AI. AI is confused. So we had to build something that would add clarity, especially on the business development side too. So we have to give them everything. So we created this complete training system for notary entrepreneurs who want fast and reliable revenue, revenue that's going to push you to thrive no matter what mortgage interest rates are doing or the housing economy. You don't have to worry about that when you add this line of service. And Brandon usually sells all of these courses completely separate. So I made a huge ask for him. And Brandon, it's just, yeah, he chuckles, but it is. This was a big ask, guys.
Yeah.
But he's committed to your success just like I am. So we did it. We have put together every single highly rated course that Brandon offers, all 6 of them. So you have everything that you need to succeed and to cut your learning curve more than anywhere else. So let me show you exactly what's inside this thing. And it's kind of in order as how it would be recommended. The first thing is you want to start out with ink fingerprinting. So we give you the Mastering Ink Fingerprinting course because this is how you can get started right now in any state, and it's going to last forever. And this course is usually priced at $499, and it teaches you exactly how to roll perfect prints on both federal and state cards. And you're going to learn the pitfalls to avoid, like smudges, alignment problems, and some of the technical errors that will lead to rejections of prints. He'll show you how to set up your workspace, your workflows, and then you'll have all the details to know exactly how to fingerprint demographics like minors, seniors, where their fingerprints may not be as clear as they used to be, right? Or clients with unique situations or physical parts of their body, fingers missing, digits missing, right? He'll talk about how to address all of that. So, this course alone will tell you how to turn your skill into revenue very, very quickly. But if you've been following me for a while, you know how important I think specialization is. So, we put a second course in for you, and this one's called EDOs Unlocked. Now, I know most people don't know what an EDO is. It means electronic departmental order, which is basically an FBI background check for a non US citizen. Brandon talked about this when he talked about how he's niching his business down to the immigration. This is what he's specializing in. And they don't require any special equipment. There's no high-tech learning curve or anything like that. It's just a high demand year-round revenue, and the whole course is yours on how to tap into this. And we'll teach you exactly how to do it. And Brandon normally sells this course alone for $399. So just right there, we're going to teach you how to roll ink fingerprints and then immediately give you a specialty that you can tap into in your area right away. And so now you're probably thinking, yeah, that sounds awesome, Bill, but how do I actually get those customers? And that's why I asked Brandon to include his Marketing That Makes Sense money course, or Marketing That Makes Money course. And I think you can tell from Brandon, he's a straight shooter, right? It's no fluff. It's just, this is the stuff that works. And that's exactly what this marketing class does. It's highly detailed, and he's very serious when he says that this is marketing that will actually make you money. So you'll learn how to get clients fast. You'll keep your calendar booked by boosting your online visibility, which we all know that's incredibly important. But he's also going to show you how to position yourself as the go-to professional. He's going to show you how to get those repeat customer partnerships with law firms, human resource departments, the medical centers, and other employment type agencies and corporations that use fingerprinting on a regular basis. So, just right there, those three courses, you have exactly what you need. You can learn the technical skill, you can focus on the specialty niche, and you have the marketing to go out there and do it and scale it. So if we stopped right there with just those three courses, you could be up and earning revenue by the end of this week. But I told you I didn't want to stop there. I don't want things to be teased out. I don't want a bunch of upsell emails to be in your inbox as soon as you buy this, right? That's so irritating. I wanted to create a bundle and a tool and a resource where you literally had every single thing you need, not only to start, not only to learn how to do it, not only to learn how to find customers, but to scale this thing to its maximum potential. If you want to build a fingerprinting empire of any size, this is it. And this is why we added 3 more courses to this. So there's this whole other sub niche of opportunity when it comes to apostees and translation services when you're talking about FBI background checks. And there's a lot of reasons that people need fingerprinting in this space. So Brandon created an entire course that focuses on international document authentications and specifically how that service ties into fingerprinting, as well as the translation services. So if you want to talk about ways that you can boost your average appointment revenue so you move beyond just a travel fee and a fingerprint roll fee, this course is exactly how you do that. And again, Brandon usually charges $399 for that course alone. So this potential is huge, guys. The revenue potential and the opportunity here is that so great that many people end up converting or shifting their focus right into fingerprinting. And so we were thinking that if that was the case, or if somebody listening might be brand new in the business space, that you might actually need some help setting up the actual business. So we built an entire course that can help you out with exactly that. So we're including the business builder course as well. That's normally sold for $499. And this is where you can get some guidance on how to choose a strategic business name, how to set up an LLC if that's what you want to do with your business, or how to set up professional email, your bank accounts, credit card processors, setting up your online booking calendar, the branding considerations and the logos, that kind of stuff. And this is all from the trenches, the field experience that Brandon and his team bring to this. And then you'll also know exactly what kind of supplies you're going to need to start building out your fingerprinting business and where to get them. How much is that going to cost? I know that's on your mind right now. If I want to start in ink, how much is it? If I want to do live scan, how much is it? Well, we'll talk about that in a second, but you'll have everything you need right here. And then finally, when you're ready to scale this thing to its maximum potential, after you've started earning some revenue, building your empire, you're probably going to want to consider live scan fingerprinting. So we're including the cream of the crop course. He calls it elevating your business with live scan fingerprinting. And this is going to walk you through exactly how to choose the right equipment, how to navigate the state system that you're in, how to offer some of the top tier federally regulated services that you can now will now have access to. And again, you'll get detailed boots on the ground advice on how to run a true live scan operation in your city. So you'll know how to verify the IDs, how to prepare clients ahead of time, and of course the technical skill too, like how to produce high quality prints so you avoid rejections. But you'll also know how to troubleshoot errors, problems. You'll know how to handle rejections quickly if you do happen to get them. And then one of the biggest questions we get about this is how do you price your live scan service? All of that's covered in this course. And again, he normally sells this for $499 on its own. So, can you imagine what this would look like if you had to buy all of these separately? If you were to stack them up, it gets pretty expensive quickly, right? If you bought the mastering ink fingerprinting, the EDOs unlocked, the marketing that makes money, the apostille translations course, the basic business skilder, and at the live scan fingerprinting course, if you were to add that in there, you're spending $2,794 for all six of those courses. And that would still be a great deal because you'd be set and ready to build a fingerprinting empire in your city. You'd get a return on your investment relatively quickly. But that investment is going to come three times faster at the special price that Brandon's giving us for all six courses. It's a one time fee of only $799. Once you
Can I ask
purchase
something?
this, yeah, you got something there, Brandon?
Yeah, yeah. So I just want to add, like, with the courses, I'm going into real detail on this information because it's stuff out there that, like I say, is not really tells you how to do this, and not anyone that's successful is telling you how they're being successful. And so I'm opening up my whole business operations to you all in this course. So my documents that I use to train my employees. And that's how this came about. Actually, the course came about because I had employees, I needed to train them. I had to spend time doing that. So I created like a fingerprinting Bible, so to speak. And I would go to this and I would train all these staff. And then I have collection sites, like partner sites from since I'm a TPA. I need to train their staff. And so I put all this, formulate all this stuff together for it to make sense for someone to be able to do this so they can do it on their own or they can train someone else. And so basically you can take all of my documents, put your company logo on there, and start running right away. Now it is a lot of information, so I would tell you that you may have to listen to it several times to kind of grasp the information I'm presenting to you, because, like Bill says, I talk kind of fast a little bit. I guess that's just my passion about the business. I get excited when I talk about fingerprinting, which is kind of weird. I'd be looking at people's fingers now, like, oh man, you have good prints, right? Like, that's what you're getting in this here. And I want everyone to be successful for doing this. And that's really why we put this bundle together, because like Bill says, I don't sell this, I sell it out separately. And I can tell you too, I'm happy I see a few people on the call that are actually in my program. So I have like how you have, a part of Bill's uh, community. We have our own community as well for people that really want to dive into it and get some additional help and coaching. So we do biweekly coaching calls. We have an app where you can look at all the courses on your phone or online. You can take it on the go with you on your phone and do community searches and chats and stuff like that and get help from myself or other people in the community. And we also, one thing I think is really cool, Bill, uh, we started our own conference. So I had a second annual conference in Pensacola, Florida this year. We had a really good turnout. We had some vendors there, from live scan vendors. We had people that talked about background checks, drug testing, financial planning and growth for your business and having insurance, because those are some things we need to all have, as being the key person in our businesses and stuff like that. And so that's something that's really cool that we're doing. We're going to have our next one sometime in the summertime this year. Haven't finalized the dates yet. Most likely it might be at another beach, or we might do Vegas. Not sure. Just trying to go back in there. Yeah, Tony. Thanks, Tony, for saying that. Tony, he's a part of our program, and he attended the conference in Pensacola this year. So I just wanted to share that's what you're getting um, when you are getting into this program, and if you want to take it seriously to really be successful and really grow your business in 2026.
I love that. And I'm looking forward. I can't wait to hammer down the details so I can come to the next one, Brandon. I'm excited for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, hey, Miss Jackie. Yes, Miss Jackie's a part of the program too. Yeah.
Oh, great. Awesome. So guys, once you purchase the bundle, all six of these courses are going to be automatically loaded into your secure biometrics account, all at the same time. All courses are completely on demand, so you can take your time. And like Brandon said, you can revisit them as many times as you want. They'll have the downloads, everything all in one place. There are no tests, there are no certifications. This is down to the nitty gritty training on exactly how to build a fingerprinting business from the ground up. And it's everything you need to scale that to an empire if that's what you want to build. So you're first going to learn how to master ink fingerprinting, how to roll the prints, right? That's where we recommend you start. Then you're going to learn that specific niche that you can start tapping into and increasing your revenue right away because it offers yearly revenue potential. And then you start scaling with that marketing course that's offered. And then you can add the apostilles and translations into your business. And then you scale and grow your business using the tools and the resources in the basic business builder course. And when the time comes, you'll be ready to go even bigger with that live scan fingerprinting. All of that's in there, all for $799. And we know that's a big investment, especially right at the beginning of the year, right? But this is an investment that will make sure that 2026 is exactly what you want it to be. So we offer a 7-day money back guarantee. So if you get in there and you look through this training and it's not what me and Brandon are promising you, it doesn't show you exactly how to start and scale a fingerprinting business with confidence, then all you have to do is let us know within 7 days and you get all your money back. So there's no risk in getting started. The only real risk is not starting at all. And even though we have this money back guarantee on the just on the off chance that it's not what you wanted to be, we already know that it delivers on its promise because we've gone through, or many people have gone through the program already. You should see what some of the students have to say. So Felicia says, I had no idea where to start. And the way Brandon explains the process gave me the confidence to set up my first appointment within the week. Susan says, I thought fingerprinting would be complicated. Brandon breaks it down so clearly. Bill says, this gave me the structure I needed, the supplies, workflow, compliance. I launched faster than I expected. And if they can do it, you can do it too. Fingerprinting is one of the most lucrative specialties under the Notary umbrella. And if you want to boost your revenue in 2026, this is an opportunity you've got to look at seriously. And you're never going to find this much high quality training with this much access to the pros for less than $800. So this is your chance to kick it off in a different way. If you want different results, you got to do different things. So now if you decide to jump in on this, let us welcome you as we move into the Q&A. Let us know in the chat that you're in on this. And Brandon, let's open it up. We've already got some great questions in the chat, but let's open
Sure.
this up for some Q&A now.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, let's if you want to raise your hand, feel free to do that. If not, no big deal. I'm going to go through the chat questions, but awesome. All right. Jennifer, come on up.
Hmm. So hi Brandon. I already know Bill, so I'm in one of his courses and I just want to know, so as I go through courses and I have questions, what is the turnaround for a response to any lingering questions? Because I have a director in New York. That's my main job, and I'm looking to leave my main job by next year.
Mhm.
I do believe you about fingerprinting. I live in Pennsylvania and I work in New York, so I know it's big. There's a very high demand, right?
Yes.
And like anything, I don't worry about anybody's competition. I am my biggest critic, so I'm gonna say it's how you present, right? It's how you speak, it's how what you
Yes.
bring to the table. Um, I'm definitely interested in the program. I know that I have already have the bag with the cards, the ink. I
Mhm.
took a course, and like you guys were talking about in the beginning, you can't believe everything on the internet. So I took a course. I paid $97 for it, and then it didn't go anywhere from there. So
Mhm.
because Bill is attached to this, and I have much respect for the individual, not to toot his horn, but
Mhm.
I believe, I believe, right? And not to say that I wouldn't believe you, but
Mhm.
he has a little bit more credibility because I'm in his course and everything that I do in his course, everything that I see in the course, everything that he promises to bring. Um, it is definitely there. So I hold you to the same caliber because it's an airplane ride to Texas and we find out where Brandon is, right? So no
Strong one.
pressure. I'm from New York, so you know
Yeah.
what we come with. So do I know Vanessa's laughing. Do I know that all of these things will get me a high turnaround, quick turnaround? I do, because I am that person that wants to. I don't have a big number. I just want to leave what I'm doing. I love what I do, but I have lost my passion for it. And the notary world has now captured my attention, but
Mhm.
I already know what I want to do, and I already know what I don't want to do.
Good.
So, with all that being said, I want to know what is the turnaround for any questions that I might be stuck.
Sure. So turnaround, usually it depends. Like, so if you text me, then most likely be within 30 minutes to an hour, unless,
Okay.
I got some like really crazy things going
Right.
on. And then email, I usually say within, give me 24 hours for email support. Uh, 48 sometimes, but if it comes through and I see it, like I try to answer everyone. I
Hmm.
tell y'all a lot of times, like Bill knows I work at night. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing daily operations and things like that. And so I might hit you back at 8 o'clock at night, to get a response,
Hmm.
that means I'm always working. I don't like to let anyone down. So I'm
Right.
always ensuring that I want to give the service that I want to receive. And
Hmm.
so trust me, you'll get answered within 24 hours
Okay.
for sure. And then, like I say, you could call and text. And the funny thing, people that are in like our group and our community, like they call me and they text me like, hey, all right, yeah, let's go. What do you need? Okay, boom, boom, boom,
Hmm.
set up, and then so yeah, no, I
So
have full support.
definitely post your group in the chat. I will definitely join. And that's really it. I think that the what people are looking for, of course, if we can't spread you that thin, right? So you're in Texas, we would have to come to Texas in order to get that one-on-one mentorship. But I think that this is something that is doable, that if you are really serious, because everybody thinks that it's quick money. There is work that goes into this process, and I think it's
Absolutely.
really your personable skills and also how to roll that finger, and then getting to live scan, because I've heard about live scan a
Mhm.
while back, just perfecting the craft. That's really what it is. But thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, my
Thank you.
pleasure. Absolutely. I love your passion too, and
Thank
the
you.
challenge. Right, I did the
Yes.
same challenge to Bill. I called him. I said, he probably don't remember. I called, hey man, is this real? So no, it's cool.
Yes.
I get understandable. And the thing too, it was funny. I was in my coaching, the last coaching call we did of last year. I was telling people like this is kind of a thing that I really want to get out here and partnering with Bill is a way for people to know and learn about me because I've been doing this for a while, and a lot of people
Right.
are in my courses, and they have their own groups that they're doing and sharing their information, but they don't know that all the information is coming from me because I'm not trying to be
A
all
gatekeeper.
over the place and all that stuff. So,
Right.
but
Right.
that's kind of what Bill and I had a discussion. Like, now, Brandon, people need to know about you and that where the information is coming from. And so that's why we're doing this. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Great question. Chanel, hi, come on up.
Good
There we
morning.
go.
yeah,
Hey,
good morning.
hello everyone. Brendan, thank you so much for this, and thanks, Bill, for making this happen. My question is, what can I don't know if this is the wrong way to say it. What can you offer someone who already has taken the training and just haven't started the service yet?
Um, sure. So in that case, so just tell me a little bit like what training did you take, and then where you located and stuff like that.
I'm located in Houston, Manville to be specific,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Texas.
Mhm.
Shout out. And I took a course online, and I've got full training. I was connected with and talking with this guy who does live scan in California, but he had a service that, or he was training people for services that aren't offered here in Texas. Like
Mhm.
in California, anyone can do it. Here, only one person can do it. The live scan. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So he was
Okay.
teaching. That's inaccurate. So you can. I'm out here and I'm doing. I do multiple locations with live scan, right?
Mm,
So it's a misunderstanding. So him doing Cal DOJ services, yes, right? Cal DOJ things could be done there. Here in Texas, they have Identigo that does state of
That's what I'm
Texas
talking
stuff,
about. They're the
right?
only one who can do it, correct?
No,
They're the only
I'm
one who
like
have
I'm
the
doing it.
account, right?
I'm doing it, right? So
Hmm.
essentially, live scan services is capturing fingerprints digitally, but live
Right.
scan services have so many different agencies that they go to. So if someone is doing a state of Texas background check, Identigo has the contract to process the background check for a
Right.
state of Texas,
Right.
right? So you can still do live scan, but you can do commercial services, ATF, FINRA. You can do submissions to Florida. You can
Right.
do TSC, Transportation Security Clearinghouse. You can do DOD. You can do Departmental Audits and FBI challenge. Like, it's so many different things you can do. It's not just about doing a state of Texas background check. If someone needs a state of Texas background check, you'll give them a card. They'll give it to send it into identical card state at station, right? But for everything else, you can still do live scan in the state and get started and be successful.
See, that I did not know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So it's a difference in the, like, say, kind of the training. And like, I know this because I sell live scan systems across the whole United States. I subcontract workout across the whole United States. So I have to know how this works in other places. And that's what I was saying too about the different trainers. And nothing against any trainers, but is you just got to watch who you getting information from and hope that they can help you in your place. I'll just say that.
Yeah, good way to put it. Chanel, so it's time to get started. I mean, Brandon's built his empire in
Indeed.
your backyard,
Yep.
so you know it can be done.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you for
My
being
pleasure.
here. Hi, Marilyn. Great to see you. Come on up. I know you're in Arizona.
Oh, and
Hi.
then real quick, Chanel, you can look at Bayou City Fingerprinting. That's my local name here, but we've grown so big, we've gone through a rebranding process. But go look up Bayou City Fingerprinting, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as here in the Houston area. And I'm so sorry, I didn't want to. I just want her to see that so she can know that it
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
done.
Great. All right, Marilyn. Hi. What's your question?
I have a question. The question is, I was under the assumption that we have to do the electronic fingerprinting, not the cards. So the cards are accepted more now than we have to do for the electronic, because that's one of the reasons I've held back is the cost for the electronic equipment. So basically, we can just do the card fingerprinting, and that's really lucrative versus the electronic scan that if we want to do that, we can do later, or how, what is the difference between the cards and the electronic as far as business wise, and how much business is one versus the other, especially in Arizona with all the immigrants, and we have, the businesses, and we've got Taiwan here now, and all of these kind of companies. What in that aspect would you be looking at as far as business wise goes, cards versus electronic?
All right, so let me say this first so we can, be good. So electronic or live scan fingerprinting is just a method of capture, right? So in your state, a lot of people do cards, and I just lost the name of it. But they do cards that they send in to the state for the background checks for all the profession. They have two different types of applicants that they're using. So like if it's a teacher versus a healthcare professional versus a doctor or a lawyer or something, right? So they have the two different processes within the state with Arizona DPS, right? And so, but they are going to get cards that they mail into the state. They can either go to, let's say it's hybrid. They can go to a place that have live scan that's connected to the state. But Arizona, for independent people, you're not connecting it to the state. Those people that are doing live scan and they're assistant customers for the state of Arizona, they're giving them fingerprint cards to mail into the state. And you can do it for them on their behalf, charge them an upcharge as a concierge service, right? Now, live scan versus just regular cards. So live scan can do regular cards too, right? So that kind of comes into play. I like to do, like if you're getting people that are doing, let's say you got five, you get a mobile jar for five people, and each person needs 5 cards. So that's 25 cards. When you're hand rolling those people, that's a lot of work for you. If you have the live scan system and it does card printing, then you can take that in there, roll them once, and print 5 cards, for each person, right? So that kind of makes it a little bit easier when you're doing the larger groups, right? So that's just kind of one thing I kind of want to say with that.
Can we
Um,
pause real quick before you
oh
move
yeah,
on to the other ones, Brandon? Because I think that's a real important distinction that people don't realize is that you can create print cards from live scan. So you
yes,
can roll them electronically and print them out on paper cards.
yes,
So you two birds, one stone. Sorry,
absolutely.
Brandon, go right ahead.
No, thank you for that, saying that, Bill. Like I kind of skip over some things because I try to hit the points really hard. So thank you for slowing me down and acknowledging that. So yes, so you can, the method of capture is either traditional ink or you can do it via electronic or live scan. You can also print out cards with live scan. You can also do federal services with live scan, which I was speaking about with Ms. Chanel about ATF or doing FINRA and Transportation Security Clearinghouses, like all these different things. So I talk about all that stuff in the live scan course too. But so that's kind of the difference. And then for yourself, because I've helped people in Arizona, I got a couple people that I've helped out, Ameriscan, Aloha Fingerprinting. All those people are in, I think, the Phoenix area, something like that. But you can do this in every state, and you can, decide to choose. Start by doing ink cards if you want, and then build your way up to the live scan, start building your business and things like that. The live scan investment is going to be about 5,000 to 8,000, depending on how you build your live scan system. When you're ready to kind of get into that area, and then we do free consults for the live scan systems too, to kind of give people an understanding of what they're doing in their area, what they can be doing, and how you can maximize your profits from it. So I hope that kind of answers your question.
Basically, get started out with the cards, and when you say 5 cards, what do you mean by that? You're doing one person, and they want 5 copies. Is that what you're doing? 5 fingerprint copies for one fingerprint job for that person.
Right. If they want 5 cards, right? Yes, ma'am. That's what that means.
So, do most of them always have to have 5 cards, or does it depend what they're using their fingerprints for?
It depends what they're using it for. So I was just using that as an example about capturing and having a role, every person each time versus kind of using a live scan and how it kind of helps you out a little bit. So that was kind of like just an example. But essentially, most people need, I give them a set. So 2 cards is one set. So generally, I do that for everybody. That's like my standard, service or whatever, standard
So
product.
standard is two sets of cards. What do you usually charge for 2 sets of cards? When
Uh,
you do
$60 for ink cards, and then I do 45 for the live scan. And ironically enough, most people pay me the 60.
Okay, so 60 is a good figure, and that gives them 2 sets of cards. So if
Mm-hmm.
you do more sets of cards, wouldn't you charge an additional for each card and for the value your time when you're setting them doing that? What would it cost me for like cards 3, 4, and 5?
So it's $25 each additional card.
25 for each additional?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have to start out with the equipment. We can start out with cards, so we don't have that big big investment. That's what scared me so much is this big investment of $8,000. And like, okay, where do I get the $8,000? So basically, the paper cards are still very prominent at the businesses and things to be able to do that then.
Absolutely. Because like I say in Arizona, everybody's mailing in cards to the state for the most part.
I'm so glad we're still behind all the electronic time. It's the seniors here. We don't like technology. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, ma'am. My pleasure.
So this is exactly why. So, and I see the question still in the chat. As Brandon just said, the cost of the live scan equipment is going to range between 6,000 and 8,000, maybe a little bit more sometimes, just depending on how you want to build your business, which is precisely why we recommend this flow that we're talking about today, right? Start with ink. The ink fingerprinting, Brandon, I remember you told us last time they can buy all the supplies they would need to get started for like less than $100, even on Amazon, 150 if you want to splurge a little bit, right? Is that
Yes,
still
sir.
accurate?
Yes, it is. The nerd in me, um, I would say a little bit more, maybe 125, 150, because I would recommend spending a little bit more money on the fingerprint pad. A lot of the ones that are on Amazon are the like between, well, I'll say this too. Um, People who have the little individual circles, don't buy those. If you're going to take this serious as a fingerprinting business, buy the full rectangular pad. The pads on Amazon about 20, 25 bucks, maybe 30. But the ink is real blotchy and super dark, and it's hard to come off your customer's fingers. And so I recommend doing a ceramic pad. Once again, Bill, being a nerd about pads on fingerprinting, but if I'm gonna be an expert and I know I need to know what I'm doing, I buy the ceramic pads. They cost a little bit more, about 70 bucks or so. You can get them from crimescene.com. They're based out of Arizona. You can go there and get the pads. And there's another company called like ID Technologies. And I'm prepared today, so I'm gonna show you how one of the pads look like, and hopefully you can kind of see the difference here. Well, I don't have any of the other pads. I'll never buy those. But I don't know if you can see it, but this pad, you can see it's like a ceramic block right on top there, and that's what it looks like. And so the cool thing about this pad is the ones that the police stations use. It provides nice, crisp, dark ink on the cards, but then it also comes out very easy with the wipes that I use. I get my wipes from I talk about this in the ink course too. I get my wipes actually from AutoZone, so it's the ones that the mechanics use. So it takes the ink out right away. I buy Gojo wipes, and the other one is called oh my gosh, I can't remember, but it's like a black tub with a yellow top. And they take everything off, and the customers like it smells good, and like, oh wow, I didn't know this was gonna come out so easy. And so that's why I say maybe a little bit more to invest in this ink pad that's about 70 bucks, because it's gonna net you more money. If I tell you you're gonna get 60 bucks off of, one customer, give them two cards, you spend 150, 125 to 150 bucks on your supplies, two customers, and you paid off all your stuff and everything else after that is profit. And actually, that's just supplies. We're not talking about a lot of people going to be doing it mobile. So once you throw your mobile fee on there, everything's paid off in this first appointment.
Yeah. Yep. Great distinction there. Shanice, hi. Thank you for your patience. Come on up. What's your question?
Good morning. Hi, Bill. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, great morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this information. So I did put my question in the chat, but so I'm in New Jersey, and a few years ago, not probably like last year, earlier in the year, I was looking into fingerprinting for New Jersey. But upon my investigation, I thought you had to be an FBI channeler in order to offer this service. Because of course, I think I heard Chanel or somebody else mention that Identigo is what they all use over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it. So FBI channeling is a whole different service, right? That's by like to become an FBI channeler. That's an RFP that comes out every 10 years, and companies have that, right? And so essentially in Jersey is like Texas, New York is like Texas because Identigo has a contract. So essentially, you would just for customers they would mail in a card to the state card sending processing center, right? So you can do this in everywhere. Like you can look up JAVS fingerprinting, right there in Midtown Manhattan. It's not Jersey, but it's close. But like that's an independent fingerprinting business, right? I've helped other people too in other places get started. So It's a matter of, like, say, having the right information and knowing that you can do this. And so, like I say, it operates just like Texas. So you just need to have your regular business license to do business in the state, and then you can start doing fingerprint cards for everyone. If you want to do live scan, you can do that too. Now, when it comes to live scan submitting to Jersey, you're not going to do that because Identical is going to submit that, right? You're just going to do cards for your customers, or you're going to do federal services, right? And so you have a lot of people in Jersey that's doing stuff for New York too, so they can just like mail the card to New York's card center station, so they don't have to drive to New York. I know it's kind of close, but the traffic and everything is like, nah, I don't even want to do that. I'll just
It's not that close. It's not that close.
okay, yeah. So you can just mail it
I
in,
can
right?
get to Pennsylvania faster than I can get to North Jersey.
Oh wow,
It's
okay,
crazy.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
now you can do that, and then um, when you get live scan equipment and you have FBI channeling services on there, essentially you become a subcontractor of the FBI when you fill out your paperwork and get your accounts
Yeah.
created and stuff like that. And so you're able to use their connection to submit the fingerprint records to them for doing, the FBI channeling services or departmental order services and stuff like that. So let's say
Okay.
you know, you can holler at me and stuff. Like say we do free consults about the live scan system and stuff like that to really let people know what you can and can't do in your area and stuff like that. Essentially, they can be, like I say, fingerprint can be done in every single state. That's once again,
Okay.
every single state. Live scan can be done in every single state. It's just a matter if you can connect to your state when doing the live scan services.
Okay. Now, one last question. So, in regards to how is it that, because I know a lot of companies, they provide fingerprinting services for their, or they don't provide it, but, they offer them to get their fingerprints done via Identigo. I guess, how do they come to you versus going through their jobs?
Well, so the judge is going to tell them they need to get fingerprinted, right? Now, depending on if they need stuff for the state of Jersey or if they need stuff for other states, right? Or they need
Mm-hmm.
federal services. That's a
Right.
matter of what's going to be done, what's going to be required for their fingerprinting needs, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so essentially, most employers don't fingerprint themselves. Like say, if it's an identical thing, it's something that's going to be, let's say, like a child care. Most likely, they're going to have to do a state background check. And so,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, at the end, Identical is going to process that by them going directly to Identigo or them, getting cards and mailing to Identigo's card sanitation. The thing that I try to tell people the most is that because I've been doing this for quite some time, and what I figured out is if you just focus on the people you can fingerprint right away and block out everything else, that's when you're going to really make your money. So that's why I was trying to, why I'm telling people right out the way. ATF, immigration, boom, do that right away. That's federal. It's you don't have to worry about, oh, well, they got to go to Identigo or they got no,
Yeah.
it's federal. It's out, just do that, making money right away and start niching down in that and then expanding out from that area.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, yes, ma'am. My pleasure.
Great questions. Hi, Patty. Great to see you again. Come on up.
Nice to see you too. Thank you guys for this. I appreciate that. I came at the tail end of the last presentation, so I wanted to benefit of this from the get-go. But I've been doing fingerprinting for 9 years in California. And that's the majority of my business. And every year it's gone gradually higher and higher, thank God. And I do both state, federal live scan. I do a lot of ink fingerprinting. So I'm wondering, because for a person like me, for instance, I've been doing this for a while. I took Judy's aposty course. I just am starting to get my feet wet into that, and it's been very exciting. So how would I benefit from your course? I also teach people how to fingerprint. I've taken a lot of the person that trained me and taken them under my wing and guided them to get their business going. And as a matter of fact, when I started doing the FBI, he stopped talking to me because he only wanted me to do state, right? Do Florida, FBI, the FINRA, ATF. haven't gotten any ATF. I must not be marketing properly there. But I'm very fortunate. So my question to you is, how I'm very, very interested in your course. Mm-hmm. And I had shared this with Bill earlier. How would I benefit from it?
Yeah, sure. So awesome in the growth of your business over the years, as well as giving back and mentoring other small businesses. So thank you so much for doing that and doing your part in the service. And so for yourself, I think, did we talk a little bit previously? I think so.
I did talk to you right after the last presentation because like I said, I'm very busy, and then I ended up coming at the very end of it.
Okay, sure. And so I think for your live scan system, you're doing mainly Cal DOJ and stuff like that, or Cal DOJ and then FBI within that particular live scan system that you have. And then I think we discussed maybe expanding some of your federal services, right?
Yes.
And so what you can learn from my course is I talk about all the different commercial services that you can offer. So the thing that's different between us, right? So in California, you connect to your state, you can submit stuff to Cal DOJ all day and be good. In Texas, I can't do that. So I had to learn what services that I can offer in my state to be successful that are outside of just your traditional state direct. And so in the course, like the live scan course itself, is talking about doing your FINRA submission. Like what is FINRA, how to use broker check, what companies you can and cannot service that try to book those appointments with you. How to do transportation security clearinghouse. So that's everyone that's doing FAA. Anybody works at an airport, pilots, flight attendants, they all have to get fingerprinted, but they have to do a specific fingerprint that's through the transportation security clearinghouse. I'll tell you how you can do that by signing up with NATA, or you can do it yourself if you have a certain live scan system, right? So I was talking about hooking you up with Kathleen for the California area. So that's something you can learn. Then we talk about your ATF. So in ATF, California, it's a little bit tricky because you guys' gun laws are so strict. ATF is not as popular in California because guns in California is just a hard thing to get along, right? For just to try to do concealed carry and stuff. And so I wouldn't hold that against yourself because that's just a part of it. But if you have people that are doing ATF and they're like, hey, I'm not going to buy the suppressor here or whatever, I'm going to get it in another state, you can help assist them with that. But also you have the gun dealers though. The gun dealers, they have to get an ATF background check. So it's not even so ATF when I was talking about suppressors and silencers and stuff like that. But when you have people that actually sell the firearms, manufacture the firearms, they are collectors of firearms, they all have to have an ATF background check. And so that'll be a matter of you marketing to those people in those industries, right? Because that's something you may have not thought about, but those people you do. And so it's things like that that I discuss in the courses that I think would be beneficial for you. Doing the EDOs for immigration and mastering that and getting down and hunkering down for immigration attorneys so that you can, service them, especially, I don't know if you're bilingual or not, but people that are bilingual, that helps a lot.
I am.
To be able to get in those communities because it's very tight-knit communities. And then once a family goes to a place and they've been serviced right and they're not feeling like they're being looked down upon and stuff like that, like they get when they go to other places or the police station, then they're going to tell everyone else in that community. And that's another thing I tell people too. Like you can join, and it's like so much stuff you can do with this, but just joining like the different chambers of commerce of like the Asian Chamber of Commerce, the Latin American Chamber of Commerce, like all these different ones, like they have all the different people in there and they're looking for people to go to that they can trust to get these fingerprinting services. And like people that come over here and they're starting a business, they have to have a fingerprint background check when they're doing the because they're trying to get a green card to work here, right? And so or a visa, I should say. They have to get a visa to work here, but it has to be off a fingerprint background check, right? And so you think about all those people that's coming over in those in different communities and are starting businesses. That's another subset of people to market to and stuff like that. And so that's some things that I would say for someone that's already seasoned in the industry that my courses can provide to you that you may have not thought about or may not be doing.
What about the apostille and the translations? Are you using a different company than Bill has recommended to the group, or is it? And then also, I know I'm jumping from one thing to the other. Equipment for the fingerprint cards, I know that it has to be FBI approved printer. Because sometimes the quality when you print, you take the prints, the quality is really not there. So that's what I get concerned with. And I always tell my clients, I want to give you quality, not quantity. And let's give it a try, especially when they have very low ridges. That's a danger.
Sure, absolutely. So your question is,
like what equipment do you recommend as equipment? And for the like the live scan equipment.
Something, okay, if you're hungry. Sorry, got it. I'm on mute patrol.
Thanks. Do you recommend as a specific equipment? I know with the, like you said, you go to crime scene for your ink pads. I usually use crime scene or a Safari Land to get my supplies.
Yes, ma'am.
And I buy them in bulk. The cards I buy like cases because I get a lot of requests for those.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, so the live scan equipment is usually it's certified equipment, and it's all certified through the FBI. So different vendors certify certain models, like for printers with the FBI, right? Certain live scan scanners with the FBI, and then their software is also certified, right? And so, with that being said, it depends on the vendor. I think you say you use Certifix.
Yes, and then for my federal, I've been using Print Scan, but I kind of want to get away from them. Do you have another service that you go through?
Right.
You recommend?
Okay, yeah, I got you now. Okay. So I use Fulcrum, so I'm a platinum reseller with them. So I usually sell the stuff really good and give good bundles and different things like that. So you're getting essentially the same system from Fulcrum Biometrics, which is another live scan FBI channeler and live scan provider. The key thing about them that's different that I like to tell people, because Certifix is there in your business because y'all like partners because y'all got to do split revenue, right? Print Scan, they're in your business because they charge you channeling services for everything you're doing, right? So you're splitting revenue with them people forever. So you pay for your live scan system over and over and over and over again, right? And I can tell you, I started with Print Scan. So the founder of Print Scan, when I was talking about earlier, who started out as since you brought Print Scan up, I'm gonna tell people. The founder of Print Scan is Tom Van Schulen. Me and Tom are cool. I have this phone. He's on my phone right now. I flew up to New York when I first got started. That's how serious I was. I flew up to New York. I met Tom, the owner of Print Scan, that grew it to where he sold his business twice over for multi-millions of dollars. And we're talking, he mentors me, right? And so with them, that's what I was saying. Like you can grow. He grew his business from just being a mobile business for 8 years before Print Scan got to what it was, right? I just want to throw that out there for people. But Print Scan, they charge channeling fees. And so they say they're constantly always in your stuff, right? And I started with them. Over time, I learned about Fulcrum. Fulcrum, their systems cost a little bit more. So Print Scan system, right now, Print Scan system is about $5,000 to $6,000. They give you everything that you can do, right? It started off, it was about $4,000. I used to resell for them back in the day. I was getting them super cheap for like $2,800, right? When I was reselling for them back in the day. And I just had a good relationship because I flew up there and met the owner. So he was, but anyway, what they do with Fulcrum and what I do and set you up with is we don't charge channeling fees. So we charge a little bit more upfront for the live scan system, but we don't charge channeling fees. Like all your fees are like whatever you make is yours. Now, if you want to submit to Cal DOJ, you got to get charged the state fees and the way it works with the P2P and all that stuff. All that stuff got to get set up and be done. So you can't avoid that. FBI Challenge is the only one too that every company has a fee for using that service, right? But everything else they don't charge you for, like FINRA, they don't charge you for that. FDLE, they don't charge you for that because we set you up with direct accounts to the state. EDOs in the system. So I learned all this stuff because I had to learn this on my own because I got essentially, how can I say this or not? My customer experience was not great when I was using the certain live scan system that has all this on there. It was bad and it made me look bad. So I had to learn how to do this stuff on my own. Right. So doing EDOs, I learned how to do this on my own because I know how Tom did it. Right. I know what he did to do it. And so I just did it. I learned how to do it. I do it on my own. And that's what this teaches you how to do. You don't have to use them for that. apostille services. I mean, we brought that up. Apostille services, I do that on my own. I had to learn how to do it on my own. I don't know specifically about the courses and things that Bill has a partnership with, but with this here, it's specifically about fingerprinting, how to do this service, and then how to do it on your own. And then if you need it expedited, who I have in DC that can expedite it for you and get it back within 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
Translation services,
Awesome.
that's another company that I use. I don't personally translate, but they're certified translators. They charge you super cheap, like 7 cents a word, 3 cents a word, and then you upcharge that to your customers. So not only can you do the translations for the apostille services, but if you just want to say, hey, I do translations, like I'm giving you my partnerships where you can do this and get it super cheap and then just offer the services on your own if you want. So those are some things, I guess, are some differentiators that my course offers that you may or may not already know about.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Great questions. Great explanation. Thanks for going so deep on that too, Patty. And I hope that shed some light for you, Patty, because I know you've been this has
I've
been
been
rolling
stressed
around for a
about it.
while. Yeah.
I've been mulling it on.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do this and I don't want to miss the opportunity. And I know you always bring out the best for all of us. And like I always tell you when I see you and I talk to you, I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys have been a blessing to all of us.
Well, thank
And
you.
we all love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. All right, let's move to Kelly. Thank you for your patience. Kelly, come on up. What's your question for Brandon?
So I have a couple of questions, and thank you very much. I have a couple of questions. So I'm here in Michigan, and I was doing the research. I have some connections with gun ranges for people that are taking their firearms. And in the course of that, I know it mentions a lot with you have to get approval from Michigan State Police. So I'm looking through this and like, oh my gosh, like how do you jump through these hoops? And is it possible? That's one of the big things is it how hard is it to actually get approved to do or be a live scan provider for something like that? And I have a lot of connections with real estate. So those are two different arenas, but I want to make sure that before I jump into something like that, that it is possible for me to do.
Sure, absolutely. I set up people in Michigan, so I can give you like a free consult on, how to get set up and stuff. It's not as hard as you think because we already went through the process to make it easier for you to connect to the state via the live scan system. And so essentially, you will be able to fingerprint all those people at the firearm ranges and the realtors, as well as all the other different industries, professions in there. The only thing is that you have to ensure that, and I'm sure you already have this, is be a legally operating business in your state. And then once you have that, then myself and my team would come in and get you set up and doing connections to the state, making sure you have a static IP, making sure that you have a place to secure the equipment. Those are some things they look for to make sure it's just not out and about and anybody can access, your laptop to get customers information and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So I got all that end covered, and if all that fails, I do have a pit bull. But okay, that's just a front because he's the biggest baby ever.
Yeah.
My other question is, I'm looking for something that to be able to take to a different state because I just found out that I'm here in Michigan, but I have to go down to Tennessee. My dad has some health issues and I'm going to be down there and I don't know how long I'm going to be down there. So I'm being a commissioned notary. I can't take my business down there. Is that something that I can cross over into another state? I mean, I might be there 3, 4, 5 months. And that I could actually generate some revenue while I'm there.
Great question. So you can take your live system so let me say this because you can take your system out of the state, right? You can't electronically submit fingerprint records from outside of the state back to the state. But the thing about the Michigan system, so the Michigan system that we have, because I have different vendors that I work with, right? Because certain vendors are connected to states, some vendors are not connected to certain states. So for Michigan, the vendor that I have that connects to the state, it does state direct services and FBI services for the state submissions, and then it prints cards, right? If you were looking to do, and so essentially, if you take that system to Tennessee, then you can only do the card printing side because the Michigan side, you can't submit that to the state of Michigan. And, people in Tennessee, you may have a few that need Michigan, but then if you fingerprint them, like say, you can't submit it direct there because of the laws or the regulations that they have about submitting it electronically but not physically being in the state. Now, I'm going to say this real quick as a side note for people. Florida is the only unicorn state to where you can be physically outside the state and electronic submit fingerprint records back to the state and it's fine. That's the only state that can do that. All the other ones, the person has to be physically in the state when you submit the electronic record, or the system has to be in the state when you submit the records, right? And so in your case, I would just probably, you can still do your business. You would just have to do fingerprint cards, right? Or you can do ink cards for people, right? You can just do traditional ink roll cards for those people or something like that for the few months that you're not in the state. And then you can have a system that you can do. If you were to get your Michigan direct system, make your money back, then go to Tennessee whenever you need, do fingerprint cards there. Or if you really want to maximize it, so when you get back to Michigan, you can do the commercial services that we're talking about. So that's a different live scan vendor that can do all these different commercial services that we're kind of speaking about. So it's you can still do it. I would probably just do the ink for those few months and then get back to Michigan and do, your live scan direct to the state and then, print cards on that. So that's what I would say to you, because otherwise you have to buy two systems because the systems for Michigan, they pretty much just do Michigan and then cards, right? They don't do the other stuff.
Perfect.
So that's kind of, I hope that helps what I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. I was on your website and I see that there are Klarna and Afterpay, because I would love to take this course, but again, everything is hit so hard all at once. And I would love to do the Afterpay. However, $200 every 2 weeks is still not going to end up working for me. Are there any other plans that can be spread out over a couple of months' time?
So currently those are the only options that we have for people that are looking to split it up. I'll tell you, I've financed personally for people and got burnt, so I don't do that anymore. Just being 100% with you. So I let the professional companies kind of deal with that. I'm a nice guy. I'll let everybody do it, but once you get burned so many times, you have to, make some evaluations as far as,
Understandable. Totally understandable. So if this isn't financially affordable right now, is this something that maybe in a month or 2 months that I can pick up and get started with?
Sure, absolutely. The price probably not going to be the same, but you could definitely, get started with that. Because I say I don't sell this is a discussion Bill and I had. I don't sell my courses as a bundle. Essentially, unless you buy the live scan system, then we'll work out like a bundle rate or something like that. But it'll be available. I think we're going to keep it as a bundle, but this price point is definitely not going to be close to this price point.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Great questions. All right, we have time for two more because we're already at 100.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
We're at 95 minutes. So we have time for two more questions. RMS Notary, come on up, introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hi, my name is Rosa and I'm from San Diego, California. So I started doing live scanning about back in June, but I'm just starting to get more business. I do get a lot of calls, but here specifically in San Diego, I'm like about 5 to 10 minutes away from the border. My issue is I am solely mobile. So my problem with that is that when people ask me my price, and I don't think I am expensive at all, I charge anywhere from 120 to 150 to meet them somewhere or go straight to their house, and they're still trying to tell me, oh, that's too expensive. I can go to somebody's shop and do it for, I don't know, 35 for rolling and whatever fees. So that's my problem, I guess. And my question would be, what are appropriate fees for mobile services? So I'm starting to do I'm trying to focus more on fingerprinting other than the notary part, because I'm a wedding officiant as well. So I started doing that, and that's where most of my revenue comes from, professional wedding officiating. So how could I market myself to get people to pay a higher premium and not get the, hey, give me a discount type thing?
Sure, great questions. And man, I wish I knew you. I needed some work done in San Diego, like in November, and I couldn't find
Oh,
anybody to
man.
get it done. But so I'll tell you this. Once again, like people like you and I, we're not. I'm not my own customer. I want to do it for a cheaper rate. So what you need to do is
Yeah.
market to businesses, right?
Okay.
You need to go start marketing to businesses because, like I say, I charge $400 just to leave the office or to leave where I'm
Oh,
at.
wow.
You can
Mm-hmm.
go 5 miles from me, right? And so essentially, marketing to business and people that value their time is where you're going to get your money from. Now, if you want, you can have as you're starting this out because you need to make your money back. You just starting in June. Maybe
Yeah.
you have a price that's a regular person price and then a business price, right? But
Okay.
don't devalue your services because someone is trying to have you.
Yeah.
I tell some people like you're not my customer. That's fine. Like you know how many people they have out here that need this service. I'm going after the people that I want that's going to pay my rates. Like
Yes.
I don't haggle with people. A lot of times when that happens and they go somewhere and it's cheaper, they end up having to come back to me anyway because the other place messed it up because they're so cheap.
Mhm.
They're just trying to get people in over volume, but not
Yeah.
doing quality work, right? And
Yes.
so just having that type of mindset of okay, and I think this is great because if you're in Bill's community, he has the master class. He has like daily dues, right? And so he
Okay.
just put one together for fingerprinting, and it's about going to market to businesses that you want to do business with that need your services, right? So you
Yeah.
put that list together, and then you start doing your outbound marketing campaign to reach those clients. In the meantime, like I say, you just look at, hey, you want to get some revenue from it, and you need to get your rolling skills up too, right? So you
Yeah.
need to get your rolling skills up. So you may have to drop the price just a little bit just to make some revenue and get your money back. But while you're doing that, you need to be marketing to businesses.
Okay.
Just and if you got colleges around you,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
healthcare organizations, things like that. That's who you want to be going after because they already
Mhm.
have so many people that need it done. You just need to talk to the person in compliance or in HR that makes the decision of where they're going to let people go to. Or if they don't, some of them may not even have. They say, "Hey, just go get it done," right? But if you come in
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make it streamlined. I'm gonna come on site or fingerprint everyone all at once," when you have orientation or the prerequisite meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can come there and fingerprint everyone, submit them to Cal DOJ and the FBI, and then be good to go. And then once they graduate and ready to take their exams, I can come back and make it easy and convenient for y'all, right? And then look
Yeah.
at realtor brokerage firms, like you're starting off in notary, right? So, but like a lot of us all started in notary, right? So we already have relationships with uh realtors, with title companies, different brokerage firms, right? That the rules right. Go approach them and let them
Okay.
know that hey, I can come on site and do this because one thing about realtors is that not only are they doing Cal DOJ, but a lot of them are expanding and they are selling homes in other states. Home builders, they're building homes in other states. They got to have a
Mm-hmm.
fingerprint background check when they're doing this expansion. And
Yeah.
so just tapping into your normal network of the people that are businesses, that's the way you're going to make the money that you're looking for.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
And then I do a lot of, like, I'm an officiant and authorized notary in San Diego. So I do a lot of like the jail weddings.
Mhm.
So I do get some of those wives that are trying to start doing like notary stuff as well. So they ask me like, hey, where can I get my fingerprints? And it's like, hey, I'm a one-stop shop. Like, I can marry
Awesome.
you. I can notarize your divorce decree, like everything.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
yeah. So okay, I'll look into that because we do have a lot here in San Diego. Like I said, we have the border. I do get a lot of the people like for the translations, interpreting for the what is it? Their green card, all that stuff. So it'll be a good avenue to navigate and do my niche in that specifically. So thank you so much, Brandon, for your time and your help.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure.
Awesome.
And then
I'll
real
be in
quick,
touch. Yes.
awesome. Yeah, I love to talk to you. No, I was gonna say everybody that's trying to get in touch with me, you guys can email me at info@securebiometrics.net, info@securebiometrics.net. That way everyone on the team can kind of assist me out, answer some of those, and then I have my admin help me answer some of those questions as well. So that's where you can find us at. And the website is securebiometrics.co. Please, we're going to be switching that over to .net as well, but right now it's securebiometrics.co. That's where you have all the courses. You can sign up on the bundle, and then we have the community on there. We have tons of coaching calls from the last 2.5 years. We also have a YouTube page. You guys go check out the YouTube page of Secure Biometrics, youtube.com/Secure Biometrics. Have a lot of other information on there, and I'll get started with making more content for YouTube and stuff for everyone that's interested in getting more fingerprint information.
All right, wonderful. I've got that in the chat. We're going to do one more question. This is from Miranda. Thank you. Come on up, and then we got to wrap up, guys. Sorry, it has been already a long call for Brandon. Hey, Miranda, come on up.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hey,
How
Mr.
can we
Miranda.
help?
Happy New Year. My question is more of I live in Virginia, the Commonwealth, and I know right now that the fingerprinting service is one of the services that I want to expand on with the loan signing and the I-9. Is there anything particular that Virginia does because it's a Commonwealth that I can do? Because I noticed when I go Google fingerprinting, it's all at the sheriff's office.
Sure. So great question, Mr. Miranda, and Happy New Year to you as well. So I have people in Virginia that I've helped out too. You can look up DMV, Fingerprinting and Notary. He's going through a name change right now because his business has been booming. So he's changing his name to his business name. But that's Snyder out there. You can look him up, and he does live scan services. But no, as long as you have a business and you can operate your business, like I said, I know it's a Commonwealth. So long as you have proper paperwork for operating your business legally, adding fingerprinting, you don't have to do anything additional for that. Especially if you're going to be starting doing ink fingerprinting, it's not a problem at all. Like I say, low costs to get, low barriers to get in to it, and then just starting to offer and sell the services. Live scan, same thing, because you're not submitted to the state. Field print has that RFP, kind of like how we were talking about Identical has the RFP for Texas and Jersey for there. It's field print for Virginia, and so you can also sign up if you have a location. You can sign up to be a collector for them, but I don't really teach that. But people want to do collections. You can get, like I say, they're gonna pay you $3 to $5. I think my time is worth more than that. Especially if I can charge 60. And you look at how many people you got to fingerprint if they're sending you people. Sorry, I'm going another way. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer your question, you can do this in your state. Nothing additional outside of just being a business that operate, doing cars or live scan fingerprinting. But the live scan fingerprinting, you would do commercial services.
Okay, so my question about the live scan, is there a place where you can go and get the live scan equipment where you can make like net 30, net 60, or making payments on it versus having to pay that whole bulk premium up front?
Sure. So this is what I tell people, and I have it in my emails that I send people as follow up. So I have some different live scan equipment. So for us, I have to have all the money up front, like I say, from that. But I have partnered with other equipment lenders that will help you finance the equipment, right? So whatever the amount is, it's kind of like a car dealership. You go, you get all the different lenders that you can potentially use, and then whatever y'all work out as far as permit terms, that's what you guys work out. And then, we get payment, process your order, you get the live scan system, and then you make payments that way. But something I try to tell people to do outside of using our equipment lenders, right, is to look into your own personal banking institution that you already have a relationship with, right? To see now, our equipment lenders, they don't do no hard check. It's like a soft check, right? But if you go to your bank, they're going to do a hard check essentially, right? And so that's the kind of thing you have to be like, do you want to do that or not? But if you go to your bank, they may have, a loan that's a low interest rate loan. You can do like a personal loan, personal line of credit, different things like that, where it's going to be cheaper than going to like an equipment vendor, right? And then the other thing I tell people, I had a lady recently. Um, she had a new credit card that had zero interest for 18 months. You're not going to beat zero interest for 18 months. And that's from her own banking institution that offered this credit card, right? Or even if you do the balance transfer, right? Like the zero interest balance, like it's different ways you can do that with using your own relationships that you already have set up. But we do, for people, that don't have that available, we do have equipment lenders that will help you finance the equipment.
Do you happen to have one off the top of your head?
I do, but it's through my link so that they know that you're coming from me, right? So, because that way, because if you just fill it out, they're gonna be like, well, what vendor are you using? Like, we need a quote. Like, how much is it going to cost? So it's a slight process, but I can definitely assist you if you just email us, and then we can go over what you're looking to do with the system and stuff, and then I can provide, our equipment lenders that we use.
Okay, so I need to email you.
Sure, yes, ma'am. And then we can do like a consult and everything, and then we can go.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. Great question. Thank you, Miranda. Appreciate that. And Brandon, I know this is a long time. We're going on almost 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I'm supposed to be
Really
out today, man. Bill pulled me into this. I was like, I'm gonna be out the whole like
We
so if
put you
y'all
to
email
work.
me, y'all gonna see I'm out till Monday. I'll respond to you guys starting next week, but I'll be out. So yes, let's
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing so much value and really not giving fluffy answers. You guys notice that? This is not just shallow surface level responses. This is real deep sometimes answers and rabbit holes down there. There's so much that you can do here. And one of the really the missions and the goal that Brandon and I have is to just open your minds to the fact that this is a real opportunity in every single state. Even when you Google, even when you ask AI, even when you ask Facebook University, you're going to get answers that try to diminish this opportunity, but it's very real. There are people in every single state absolutely killing this if you're going to work the business. So hopefully we'll see you inside the course. Brandon offers all the full services. It's not just this course bundle, right? He's a vendor for the supplies, the technology, the equipment that you need. He's got all those relationships established, all part of his empire. So it's all in there if you want to get in on the orbit on that one. I'll post the link one more time. It is secure biometrics.co/notary coach for this special bundle. Thank you all for sharing your day. And Brandon, thank you for sharing your time and wisdom.
yes, thank you all as well. Hope you have a wonderful start to the new year. I wish you all, many blessings going forward. And, this opportunity for you, take advantage of it, maybe not now or later, but I'll tell you that this is something that can really help you extend your service line of your business. As far as you want to take it, we have Miss Patty that's been in here for years and has been doing and growing her business every year over year. And, I've been able to grow my business significantly as well over the years. But, when you have something that's really tight niche and people don't want to share it, they're not sharing it for a reason because they make a lot of money and they don't want other people in it. But, I always pray to be able to help others. And so this is my way of being able to give back to others. My time is a little limited. So I say, let me just put it out in the courses and have it available and accessible to you all, 24/7. And they're forever growing too. So I see someone ask how long you get access to the course. It's lifetime access to the course, and it's forever growing. I'm going to shoot some more videos for a couple other courses, some things that I was thinking about, some things that were changing. And so that's something about this, man. And I just want to see everyone succeed and win in this new year and for years to come. And so thank you, Bill, for your time today and to be on this webinar with you. And thank you for everyone else that spend your time with us on these webinars. And I hope you gain some valuable information from it. And, it's more to come. And you'll probably see my face a little bit more going into this year. So thank you all. And I wish you all well.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.